where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique. It's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf, and we're all rested up, man. Where our tryptophan is finally draining off, and here we go. The beat that starts it all. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Loutopia podcast. I'm Lou Angel Wolf. Here we are in the double special studios in sparkling Clearwater, Florida, where we do the Loutopia podcast every Tuesday night at 6:30 live on YouTube. And for those of you tuning in, thank you so much for taking time out of your life to spend some time with us. Here in the studio with me to my immediate right is my buddy... Yeah, my immediate right. My buddy, my pal, my confidant, my consigliere, my big brother. There he is, Michael Merberg.
Thank you, Lou. It's a great introduction. You shouldn't have said all those good things about me. People might believe them someday.
Well, I tell you, I love sitting next to the Micopedia. It's always nice. You know, it's funny. I can go through things throughout the day, and I go, I wonder about that, and I go, I should just call Mike. And over there on mic number 3, he's pushing the dials. He's moving the knobs. It's Chris Gorgeous.
Yeah, low.
You doing all right, buddy?
Yep. Just trying to get all this straight.
Yeah.
Get all my shit straight.
Now, let me get this straight.
Let me get it straight.
You put the lime in the coconut.
I tell you what I'm about to did.
I thought it was the wine in the coconut.
What?
Oh,
No.
never mind.
No.
Anyway, folks, this is a show about health, humor, and well-being. I'm a stand-up comedian, and Michael's a writer. Well, I guess we're all writers. And in the second half of the show, we are joined by Beth Snyder, who is my personal hypnotherapist, and a very enlightened gal. It's always a lot of fun to listen to what Beth Snyder has to say. She has a hypnotherapy practice down there in Sarasota. It's BethSnyderHypnosis.com, Snyder like the pretzel. And they also have a metaphysical shop down there, her and Nancy. It's the Om Shop, TheOmShoppe, theomshoppe.com. All kinds of great things, singing bowls, and there's treatments and therapies and all kinds of wonderful stuff happening down there. So anyway, folks, that's the second half. But here we are, first half, battling it off. It's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I'm assuming we all met with friends and ate our fill and reflected upon the easy breezy.
I had turkey jerky. I stayed at home.
Yeah, turkey jerky?
I didn't pray for the crowds.
You just stayed home?
I made soup, yeah.
You just did a single guy Thanksgiving?
Did you have turkey jerky or soup? What did you have?
Both.
Okay.
It was Thanksgiving.
Okay. Okay.
He ate the turkey jerky on the way to the store to get the turkey soup.
You dipped the turkey jerky in the soup.
It can be done.
I've had a couple of bachelor Thanksgivings. They're nice. I like them.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had the other end of the stick this year. Pamela cooked, made a fabulous meal. We had turkey and sweet sausage lasagna, and, you know, I really carved out.
And you can see I'm 3 pounds lighter.
Yeah, exactly. My God, you know, and it's just, why? I don't know. You just give yourself this, I'm going to eat like a runaway train.
Well, the average American gains about 7 pounds between Thanksgiving and the 2nd of January the following year.
Oh, lovely. Well, I know. It's because of the cookies and the cakes and the, you know. But anyway, well, you know, we could talk about that another day.
I'm getting hungry again.
You know, but I tell you what.
I'll say I'm hungry, but Crystal made the best damn turkey I think I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, she's a publicist for some chef, and she got a recipe, and I'm like, yeah, recipe from a chef, whatever. It was unbelievable, man.
Really?
Yeah, I had a friend that came over that's worked in restaurants his whole life, and he, like, he turned into a mush mouth when he ate. He was like, oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, he couldn't get his fingers out of it. I'm like, dude, you're like the dad on Christmas Story. Would you get your hands out of the bird already?
Or call over the bumpuses.
The bumpus.
It's true, man.
The
He was
bumpus
like,
hounds.
yeah, he just couldn't get it. He was like, yeah, it was amazing. So
Wow.
I'll give her props for that.
Well, maybe she'd be so kind and cook me one.
Yeah, cook you
missed
one.
it.
I'll give you the recipe. You can
I'm-
cook your own.
Oh, all right.
Post the recipe.
It's actually very
No,
easy.
I just wanted to put your wife through the changes.
Yeah.
That's all.
The secret is in the brine and the butter compound that you put between the skin and the meat, and yeah. So
The secrets in
dude,
the
it
brine.
was seriously. I'm not even saying that. Like I've had a lot of turkey, and yeah, some people just
Best
destroy
damn turkey you ever had.
Best damn turkey.
Well, you've thrown down the gauntlet.
So good it's illegal. You need IV. It looks like you need IV syringes to inject that solution.
I bought a 16-pound turkey. I had 3 people over, and they had already had dinner. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll come over from the. We're not really hungry." That turkey didn't last.
Really?
Yeah, they ate. We ate the whole
like
thing.
vultures came.
All of us. We're like, not so hungry. Oh my God, I'm not.
They're
can't
sucking
fucking-
on their rib
Yeah,
cage.
yeah, dude.
Like that, their poultry crack.
Went to bed with a drumstick.
Went
it was
to bed
good.
with a drumstick.
It was good.
I saw that in a movie once.
It was actually a cartoon. I think it was like Bugs Bunny on LSD.
Curled up with a drumstick.
Yeah.
That's creepy when a rabbit is curled up with a drumstick.
Well, folks, this show, which we love, it's a public forum, and we consider ourselves, witty folks, and we're trying to become more and more aware of who we are. The newer phraseology is awakening. Are you awake? Are you awake yet? Do you see what I mean? The Matrix. Are you living inside, outside, alongside the Matrix?
The urban kids call it being woke.
Being woke.
Yep.
All right.
Are you woke?
Okay.
He be woke.
Well, that's good. That's a good phrase. I like being woke. And
I guess awakened is just too complicated.
Yeah, no, it totally is. They're like, that's how many syllables is that? We can't do that.
yeah, that sounds like proper English.
We'll go with the monosyllabic.
Yeah. Soon it will be the simple grunt. Are you?
I know. I wasn't affirming it. I was just saying that's what I've heard.
Hey,
that's the term I've heard. I'm
I'll
like,
take it.
okay, we can't say awakened.
It's cool.
Some people take a Toyota, some people take a Cadillac, however. But anyway, and the other side is those of us that are still asleep. Are you living this kind of mindless existence where you're just watching TV, going to your job, eating, processed food, and just kind of waiting for it all to end? I mean, do you have an end game there, or are you just in the maze? You're tired of fighting it, and you're just going to go with the flow, and maybe offer yourself some happiness along the way. Maybe find something you enjoy, and then there's in between. Then there's people, and see, I think that's where I am. I have wonderful seasons of enlightenment, beautiful meditation sessions. The hypnotherapy has done me worlds of good. But then there's other times where, I want to go to the drag strip and, and just hang out and listen to loud things
What's wrong with that,
and
though?
eat a hot dog. And,
What is wrong with that?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
That's not being asleep. That's just being well-rounded,
okay.
don't you think?
Well, as long as you're consciously aware of going where you're going and what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
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 It's not like just kind of subnumulantly wandering off into a drag strip, and trying to stay off the runway before they throw the flags.
What is that? The hell's that hippie doing out there?
Like, wait a minute.
Is he looking for the snack bar?
And when was the last time you were at a drag strip?
I know.
Threw
Did
the
they-
flag.
Yeah. Only during West Side Story did they do it. Yeah,
You got Christmas trees.
yeah they
now
got the
that-
lights. Yeah.
The timing.
Right.
They're like $300,000.
Are they really?
Oh yeah.
The timing
I
lights
would-
are?
Oh yeah.
The answer to that question is 1969.
Well, consequently, there is a thread of truth there because I'm going Saturday. I'm going to go to the Bradenton Motorsports Park down in it's Bradenton, Sarasota area.
Did you bring that up because you felt bad about it? Like you felt like, oh, what am I doing?
No, well, that's the thing is, I mean, like we sitting here, we talking about all this wonderful enlightenment and happiness, and you're trying to find new planes of to your soul, and I'm gonna go watch the cars smoke the tires.
Yeah, but you host a show called Grease Gurus. Of course you would. Why wouldn't you?
I know that's my alter ego, and I often think I'm wasting time over there because it all means nothing.
Does it move you emotionally?
I have this weird inner enjoyment of all that automotive
Then
stuff.
what's wrong with that?
Why not?
Yeah, I say if it moves you emotionally in a good way, why the hell not?
Okay.
Yeah, we all carry our shadows, man.
Don't put that on them. I mean in a good way.
My automotive
Your
shadows.
golden shadow. I don't know. Whatever you want.
Golden shadow. He can't get the grease out from underneath his nails.
I mean, there's some things that people do in this. If I'm feeling the right vibe here about Are We Asleep, that people do, like he said, you're just wandering about. You're not really conscious. You do this because you get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, it's true,
you
and it is. I do have a pretty decent depth of knowledge about the whole thing, so it and it's kind of fun, and it's a real common ground for my son and I. So, but
You just feel like it's low rent, don't you?
well, it's kind of redneck,
Save the world and let's go like burn up dinosaur hydrocarbon
Exactly.
and steel engines.
Wait, you smell that gas? That's history.
That's not gas. That's nitromethane.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, as far as like, helping the planet. No, it's the polar opposite of that. It's
It really is wasteful.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's a tremendously, and chemicals, and I mean, literally, it's like the play toy of the military-industrial compound.
Yeah, I felt that way like on wave runners. That's why I don't really do wave runners because I feel like what a waste of fuel to be like, going in circles. No, you got to wave. Okay, just burned up 2-3 gallons of gas. How long did that take?
Yeah, but the thing to me is, the engineering miracles that are out there. I mean, they have cars that make 6, 7, 10,000 horsepower.
Well, they're not rockets, though.
Well, but dig this. This weekend at the Snowbirds down in Fort DeSoto Speedway,
Here comes the headliner.
the rocket trucks are there.
Oh, that's something worth watching.
Dude,
Did you hear the rocket trucks are coming?
the jet trucks are just freaking amazing. They're like these Kenworths that look like a semi on road, but they've got this huge what's the name of the engine? Like Pratt and Whitney
Right.
jet engine, and it like shoots out this
Boeing
50-foot tail of flame.
That's awesome.
And I'm just telling you, man, it's like it's Christmas for my brain. It's just like
And there should be nothing wrong with that. You
and
should
he's
embrace
sucking down,
Yeah.
During this run, he'll consume 200 gallons of fuel.
Jesus.
And you're just like, yeah.
They're calculating at $2.49 a gallon.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then, and usually, like, if it like really turned into a Mad Max thing, they'd be like taking Prius drivers out of their cars and stomping on their. We hear you, Priuses, being friendly to the earth.
I would go see that though if you had a Prius drag thing. They used half electric and half gas.
Well, dig this.
Oh, here we go.
And I don't.
Oh man, sounds like an amazing show.
I don't even know if this is part of it, but it might be.
The Prius Warriors.
No, Don Garlitz.
Yeah,
who's
I've heard the name.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz.
Yep.
He's 83 years old.
Drag race Hall of Famer.
He's it. He's
Yeah.
the guy.
Right.
There's none greater.
Right.
The Purple Monster.
It's got a museum down in Lakeland down that way, right? Or somewhere
It's in
here.
Ocala.
Ocala, that's right.
Ocala.
I've driven by it
Anyway,
a couple times.
yeah, it's a Don Garlitz Drag Racing Museum. Well worth the time if you're into it. I mean, he's got some incredible cars and all that stuff. The history is just profound. But he has an electric dragster. It's electric. Okay? It just went 200 miles an hour in the quarter mile. Completely silent.
Wow. That's great. But silencer for a dragster.
Can you shut up? I'm trying to hear the dragster.
And
I wonder what that does to real dragster fans. They're like, oh, that was kind of anticlimactic.
well, here's the other
No
thing.
flame? No flame. Oh, crap.
They got a top fuel program this weekend. Alcohol burning funny cars. I mean, all that stuff that just. I mean, it's big. It's loud. It
Is
stinks.
Pam going with you?
She will come if I have. I have 4 tickets. I got 1 seat taken.
Yeah.
And I got 2 more available.
Yeah.
If I don't have an enthusiast going with me on Saturday, then she'll go.
You mean you'll make her go, or she's going to go
she'll
willingly?
go. She's like she almost kind of wants a girl day to herself, where
sure.
I'm out of the house and she can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
And I get that. I'm wonderful, but
dude, you
damn,
got drag race tickets. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't
I know.
you? Bye.
And that's the beautiful thing. I swapped them for airplay between this station and the Grease Guru show. So I have these tickets, and I'm going to use them, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to have fun. I know I will.
Yeah.
But I wanted to take Isaac, but his boss won't let him off of work. He's got to deliver pizzas, and it was funny the other day.
In a dragster. Be there in a minute.
World's fastest pizza. He delivers pizza throughout the Odessa, Wesley Chapel area there, and on the weekends at night they make him a bartender because it's a beer and wine. It's not a big restaurant. They have a couple tables, but it's mostly a delivery takeout thing, and on the weekends he's a bartender, and I'm going, wait a minute, my son's a bartender? No, I had him on my shoulders just 3 weeks ago. How did that happen? But I guess all you have to be is 18 to be a bartender.
Yep.
So there he is. It's kind of amazing. But anyway, all that aside, and so what I'm saying is the feelings that I have as a drag racing fan, kind of, when you're talking about, I doubt there's going to be anybody from, Mensa there or anybody from.
You never know.
It's just so, like I said, I know it's frivolous, but it's my one little thing. It's my one weird thing.
Well, what's the matter? You're too snobby to be NASCAR? It's like you got to go to drag races?
Well, I never, it's funny. I never cared if cars turned or not.
Yeah.
I just want to see them go straight and go fast.
He's not like, you want to be Mr. Funny Car, huh?
Well, and I think that stuff that was, ingrained in me is my dad was a drag racer when he was younger. He had a 409 61 Chevy, that kind of stuff. So, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're sitting here and you're weighing out your metaphysical worth, and you're going, oh, I have these ascended thoughts, and I can put myself to sleep. I can self-hypnotize. I can do all these things. And you go, wow, I'm feeling pretty good, feeling kind of one with the universe. I'm noticing and loving life more and more and more, and everything's good. And, and then I start thinking, well, I work this job. I got this sales job, and it's very money motivated and this and that. But it's honest work, and I sell an honest product. I work for an honest company. So I can't, we make a profit, but it's an honest profit.
You can't stay in business if you don't make a profit.
Yeah, you can't. We're not killing people. There's, it's
It's not like these are windows, not the military-industrial complex.
Exactly. You gonna begrudge me a $300 profit on a window? But anyway, so then I start thinking, well, I said, well, yeah. And like when I'm driving around, like that thing I posted today on Facebook about silence, a few moments of silence is so, I got a nice little stereo in all my cars, but there's days I just drive around and I never turn it on. I don't want to swap their thoughts or their songs for my thoughts.
Yeah, sometimes just the pitch of your engine just keeps on going. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you're at one with the zen of your vehicle.
Mm-hmm. That's truly true. That Hemi wagon I got, when it's in the like at 77 miles an hour, it just kind of like settles in, and the motor's got a little. That Hemi's got a little rip to it, and the cold air intake is just starting to open up. It's a cool sound. So I get it, but but the time that you get to spend by yourself is so precious. And I just know people that, the minute they wake up, they turn on the TV. The radio's always going in their car. They're always, there's on the phone, this and that, and just the cacophony of voices and sounds and commands and programming that's going on. No wonder we're so tired.
Yeah, some people just they get born into distraction and they're only comfortable there. And once they are quiet and they have to settle things down and start looking within, then they get upset with that and they need something to distract them because sometimes looking in can be painful.
That's true. And I'll tell you, when I was on the road as a comedian years ago, I went through a phase where I would sleep with the TV on all night, and it was just I just listened for the white noise. It wasn't very loud, and I wasn't watching much, I'm sure, but we're going back 25
it's
years.
Company.
Yeah, it is company. Yeah. And now I think of that, and it's like so foreign. There's like no way I would ever, sleep with a television on. I mean, I've fallen asleep in front of the television. Don't get me wrong, okay, but there's no way I would purposely leave the TV on to keep me company.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, and that's where I'm at. As what I'm thinking about, am I awake? Am I asleep? I'm in between. I think I'm in between. And then, like I said, there's that one. There's that one thing that you start feeling like all ascended, and we talk about the the UFOs and the CE5 encounters and trying to communicate with this higher consciousness, and you're trying to, I even contemplate the fact that I eat meat every day, that another animal has to die for my propulsion into the next day, and I can do something else. I can make these other conscious decisions. And one of the alien life forms I'm talking about, they're vegana. They're the vegana. So apparently, by their name, they don't eat any meat.
Yeah, you cut them open and it's all green slime. It's all chlorophyll.
So anyway, like I said, you're like, you're going, well, should I stop eating meat? Should I go vegan? Should I really? Maybe that would, that's a step, because I was vegetarian for, well over almost 2 years, and I did good with it. I was much thinner than I am now.
Well, there you go.
But I do have to tell you, my brain was getting really tired because I didn't have any fat. There was no fat, animal fat that helps you think.
Yeah, you put a little bit of butter on your broccoli, buddy. That'll keep your
and I had I was doing the non-dairy thing, so I wasn't getting the butter. Yeah, when you cut the dairy, I tell you, you'll lose weight. You'll instantly lose 10 pounds if you stop all dairy in your life.
Right.
It's amazing. But anyway, so here I am contemplating all this enlightenment and advancement, and then I hear on the radio, it's the Snowbird Nationals, top fuel dragsters, nitro burning.
Free hot dogs for the first 20 people that come through the door.
Have a hot dog.
Yeah, try our new triple-decker bacon strip burger. Oh, Christ.
Buy a $30 T-shirt.
Stuffed with hot dogs.
It's insane.
I love those commercials.
It's going to be loud.
Sunday.
This is Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
The Snowbird Nationals.
Stop being spiritual and get down and inhale some fumes.
Get your ass out of church and get on down to the park.
Shabbat shalom, my ass. It's time for top fuel.
Find out who's getting the gelt.
Jet trucks. Macaroons will be served.
I don't know. Jet trucks pulls me in. I don't even like
want
cars.
to see that.
Dude, the jet trucks are absolutely amazing. They make so much noise, and they do this little dance at the line. There's two of them that race all the time.
Trucks that dance? What the hell?
Yeah, they go.
Oh, so they pull up a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Not a dance.
Oh man, it is. It's a little dance, and I mean
Transformers.
And you can be 60 feet away, and you'll still feel the heat of that flame when it goes by.
I went to the racetrack once, and I got a chance to see the Crazy 8 school bus race, and that was pretty sweet. That was pretty harrowing.
Yeah.
But the overall experience left me, crusty. That's they just put it that way. Just crusty.
So anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've covered the spectrum of my.
I was like, what was the topic tonight?
Well, are you awake? Are you asleep? Or are you in between? That's the topic, and I'm going to call myself in between. Less than the second half, Beth Snyder can reveal to me I'm something other than that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Loutopia podcast every week on Loutopia.com, here on YouTube, and we're also simulcast on the IRN Broadcast Network. That's IRNBroadcast.com. We're on Podomatic, and what's the other thing? Well, yeah,
we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're doing YouTube right now.
Yeah.
See
Just
us.
Podomatic, that's it. We're iTunes. It should be simulcast on iTunes.
iTunes?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
And then IRN too?
And
Wow.
IRN, yep. IRN's going to take a little bit of a break for a couple of weeks, but then they'll be back broadcasting.
Can I get my check? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Loutopia podcast. Coming up in the second half, it's the lovely and talented Beth Snyder. And start thinking about it. Are you awake? Are you asleep? Are you kind of drowsy, just bouncing through the maze? We'll figure it out.
papa. Oh, beep, beep, bitty, bitty, bo. Oh, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, papa. Bo, beep, 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 bo. Tweet, bo, beep, bo, 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 beep, do, bo, bo, do, bo, 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 bo. Boo, doo, boo, dibbity, 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 booyah. Way, yo. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Whoa. I never before seen that in my life. Now 2 peas in a pod to me is kind of odd. Homeless man staring at the sky, cursing God.
In a world where things almost make sense, and most everything is interesting and mildly unique, it's a place that feels somewhat familiar and has the suspicious comfort of a loving semi-omnipresence. You are on the outskirts of Loutopia. Sit back and relax, or tense up and march around. Please welcome your host of Loutopia, Lou Angel Wolf.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Part 2, Section B, beta side of the Loutopia podcast. Here we are in the beautiful Double Special Studios in sparkling Clearwater, Florida, one of the finest destinations in America as far as I'm concerned. It's a lovely little town. Well, welcome, folks. And today we're talking about, are you awake, are you asleep, or are you in between? And I've called myself in between. Where are you at, Michael?
I'm a woker.
You're a woker?
Yeah. Definitely a woker.
Al Woker?
Al woker. Ow.
That's funny. Do you ever see that Al Roker clip about hypnosis? Somebody used the term Holy Ghost, and he just went into this like blank stare.
Slowly I turned.
Yeah, he
Step
just
by
he
step.
didn't even blink his eyes. It was like creepy.
Yeah, they're all like Manchurian candidates floating around out there.
Yeah. I bet you that must have been his buzzword or something.
Yeah.
And it snuck in on him.
It's funny. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Wow, what a weird cat.
Yeah, really. And Willard Scott, like one of the first,
yes, just freaks.
Yeah, and they end up being weathermen.
Yeah, I know.
That's how Letterman started.
Well, yeah. Well,
Just adding to the conflagration.
Yep.
You know? He just ended up being funny, a little bit.
I love David Letterman, man.
yeah, he had a great sense of humor.
Yeah,
he
was
still
awesome.
has.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's
Freak that he is.
he's a little bit of a
A
freak.
little bit of a freak.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super freak guy.
Well, intelligent guys, they come up with some unique things.
They're very creative.
Yeah. Well, like I think Tesla wasn't Tesla like asexual. He didn't. I don't. Did he ever marry?
I know he had a son though.
I can't blame
Okay.
him. Don't say I blame him.
So
Yeah. Well, and that's the other side of what we're talking about, folks. The Loutopia program talks about health, humor, and well-being. The home site is loutopia.com, Loutopia, loutopia.com. And we've got backlog shows on there. We've got the Pacifist Riot, which is our mellow festo. And, when we're talking, we're contemplating our existence and our, are you moving forward? Are you improving? I mean, is your life more peaceful? And I got to say, yes. I mean, I can't recall a lot of times in my life when I've been happier and more content. I got a great lady. She's so easy on me, man, and me on her as well. And my family is sharing health, and I dare not, I don't want to shake the sticks, everything's really good right now, and I just don't want anything to disturb that. I love this vibration that I'm on right now.
yeah, well, enjoy it.
Yeah, I do enjoy it, and that's what I was saying. It's like, especially during Thanksgiving, I did some real deep inner reflecting, and just I don't have anything to complain about, you know. And last night back in April of this year, I cricked my neck, and I was getting in and out of a high 4-wheel drive truck.
What do you mean you cricked your neck?
I cricked my neck.
You get a crick in your neck. You don't crick your neck. You have a crick in your
He
neck.
caused his neck to have a crick in it. Hey, look, this is coming from the guy who's like woked us today.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lou.
We're inventing new language here.
I know. I cricked my neck, and I got a fandangle in my lower back.
And a carbuncle on my whatchamacallit.
I got agina face. I don't know what's happening.
Agina face. I look at your face, you make me want to burp. You and that face and me burping. That's what I'm thinking.
Gives me fucking spilkins. I learned that from my Jewish doctor.
Spilkus. The spilkus builds up, and it gets infected, and it's no good.
So you cricked your neck.
Yeah, getting in and out of a truck. And now Michael tells me here, I'm just going to ask Mike. I'm just going to call you randomly every time I have a thought.
Talk to Mike.
I'm going to call Mike, who is an attorney, but, you know, apparently knows a little bit about medicine, too. I'm telling him about this crick in my neck I got. And he goes, well, that's probably an L4 or 5.
It's a C5, C6 nerve root.
C5, C6 nerve root.
Right.
And if I do this like...
He said that with a face that a guy that said it like a million times.
Right.
Yeah, that's what that is.
That's what it is.
And he said, if you like tuck your chin in while you drive, and I can feel it pulling that. And probably because I do drive a lot, and your head is just hanging there. It's just hanging there on the end of the stick. But when you pull it back like that, it brings all these other muscles into play.
Right.
With a trapezoidal, you said?
Yeah, it's called a military chin.
Military chin.
Right.
Oh, yeah. All right. I like it. And very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to figure some stuff out. And to help us, every week we employ the services of her beautiful opinions and her ideas. Welcome to Loutopia Part B. Beth Snyder.
Well, I've had my opinions called many things, but beautiful is usually not among them.
I love the way you think, kid. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you have a tofurkey over your house? You little
No,
vegetarians?
I made a big pot of vegetable stew, and we splurged on gluten and sourdough bread.
Rock on. Have some gluten.
Yeah. We glutened it up.
No.
I was like, we're having gluten. It's Thanksgiving.
I don't know what gluten is, but I think it makes everything taste good.
Yeah, Lou's got drag racing. You got gluten.
Yeah, Beth, we're talking, today about whether you're awake, whether you're asleep, or somewhere in between. And I've deemed myself in between. I have wonderful moments of awakening, but then I have, regular times of just being a slug, just being a guy, wearing shoes.
It's like you open the door to awakening, and you decide that go back to bed again.
I'm in the yard where awakening is, but somehow I'm fascinated with the shed.
Because they got drag racing stuff in there.
If I some Don Garlitz memorabilia nailed to the wall in here.
A spark plug poster.
Yeah, I think I've made it to the house where enlightenment is, and I got to go to the door and I got to walk through, and and if you go through the back door, there it is. But somehow I'm caught in the yard in the shed. Folks. So anyway,
You be woke. You be woke. You be in the woke yard.
I'd be woke. See there,
Be woke.
and
That's
that
right.
was without prompting. The be woken.
That's right.
I have my finger on the pulse, Lou.
You know it. Well, that's why you're the producer, because you produce, brother. So, and Beth, I know this is like a daily, thought for you too, because with your hypnotherapy practice and all the people sharing with you as they do, from deep inside themselves. and you've got to, I mean, everybody that comes to you, they're on some sort of spiritual path. I mean, whether it's just something simple to quit smoking or lose weight, or not that any of those things are simple, but, with a stated definition just like that. But that's part of, that's when you make those big moves like that, it's good.
Well, I think it's a move back towards love, and self-love. I mean, and any of those things that we want to change because they're, negatively affecting our lives or impacting our relationships with others, or leading us away from unhappiness. Our natural state is to be joyful.
Yes.
Our natural state is to be happy and to feel well. And when we're not in that state, then that's what suffering is.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. I think everyone is coming and looking for a way to kind of get back home. A way to find their way back home to our natural state. Because when we're content and we're happy and we have peace of mind, we sleep well. Our relationships are good. And when we're not in that place, then certainly we can call that a spiritual path. But it's really just a path back to what feels best for us. So.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you mean because I have my sales job during the day. I sell hurricane windows for ArmorTech, and here in Cleveland. ArmorTech.
Not part of your military-industrial complex.
Not part of the military-industrial complex.
Don't be a pain.
And I'm thinking, I'm doing all these. It's a sales job and this and that and the other, and I'm pretty good at it. And but I go, well, if this is the way I'm spending my time, let me spend the most time I can being spiritual and being a pleasant person to communicate with. So when I, go to meet my customers, I'm not. It's not a mission field, but it's an opportunity to be pleasant with someone and maybe share a laugh, and not just be a grindy sales guy, because they run.
I think you're being in service to others. You honestly want them to have the best experience and to get the best deal and to make it as smooth of a transaction as it can be for them, and beyond that, even to make it enjoyable. And I think that's just being in service to others, and you can be in service to others in whatever you're doing.
Yes, it's exactly true. So in that way, I kind of pacify myself, where I'm going, well, because you always think you should be doing more. You're like, oh, if I didn't take all that time doing that, I could do this. But in a way, I pacify that within myself, going, well, I was, rather pleasant, and I did get to help that lady get her Christmas tree down from the attic, and in conversation as it goes. But the thing that I notice is, it's like when I'm done with the appointment and I get back in the car. I mean, there are times where I'm very, either that person made me reflect on how thankful I am for where I'm at. I mean, because usually people share, whatever's going on in their world. I hear some rough stories, and then the other people are just so uplifting and so happy. Either way, I kind of rejoice. I either rejoice to be grateful for where I'm at, or to join in their happiness. Hey, I'm really happy for that guy. He finally got the C-ray that he always wanted. Whatever. So, and so there's that part of the spiritual journey, but then there's that alone time where there's nothing like it. There's just during my meditations last night, I mean, I was racing through space in my meditations. I was nowhere near here, and it was the beautiful thing where a meditation turns to sleep and you just rest there, and only my physicality got me up later at night, but it was I love it when you can hit that piece of stillness, when you can literally shed all your contrary thoughts, all your side visions, everything that's all the distractions, everything that's on your plate, and you can just rise above it and just keep going into where there's like kind of a nothingness. And then when you get into the nothingness, boy, some really wonderful stuff can happen, you know?
Yeah, well, it requires some focus and concentration and presence to get there.
Yeah.
You know, that's all about an extreme case of consciousness.
Yeah.
So that's what meditation is, as opposed to unconsciousness, which is actually a form of hypnosis.
Yes, of course.
So, you know, we don't want to walk around hypnotized by ourselves or our environment. We like to stay present and stay awake and kind of know where we are.
Yeah. Well, it is true. Your meditation is a self-hypnosis, and that's one of the things. Like Beth helped me. I knew I was getting deeper and deeper into my my own spirit being, but then when you get with the help of a loving guide. Beth, can you explain how that kind of happens? Like when the transition, like when you first start to get hypnotized, how do you share that with people?
Well, from a physiological perspective, what's happening, hypnosis is really just it's just a change in a brain wave.
Okay.
And so we're just accessing a kind of another part of our brain, another part of our consciousness, another way of kind of existing.
Mm-hmm.
We can't necessarily walk around in that state because if if we're just kind of letting our subconscious be in charge or being just in our subconscious,
yes.
Then we could put ourselves in danger because we would just walk into traffic or think we could jump off a building or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's really what the conscious mind allows us to do. It's kind of this buffer, but being able to access your subconscious really is a way to access, in my opinion, all of the collective consciousness. So all of your memories, reside there, and I believe you can access, additional information,
Mm-hmm.
from, whether it be spirit guides or whether it be, other people's stories or information or previous versions of yourself if you subscribe to
Yes.
past life regression. So how does that happen? Well, it happens through a change in a brain wave, and when that happens, now you're activating different parts of your brain, which allow you to have a different experience. And so the way to help yourself enter that state, just like what meditation does, right? It allows you to start to enter those states. This is more of a guided or an interactive way to kind of work with someone or even with yourself through self-hypnosis. So as that brainwave changes and you have access to different things, then you go into a different physiological state where you can really have amazing control over your body.
Mm-hmm.
So, in hypnosis, you can have surgery and experience no physical pain. And
Wow.
people go, there's no way. But when you really learn to master it, yeah, absolutely. And there's, thousands of documented cases that has happened. So, being able to use your consciousness to really affect your physical being.
Mm-hmm.
And then also to be able to understand your emotional or your behavioral things that are happening for you. So if there's a certain behavior in your life, that you don't want, underneath that is there's some positive thing that your subconscious is trying to act out. So being in a state of hypnosis allows us to work through that so that you can kind of make that change on a holistic level, rather than just trying to use your willpower to overcome something, which really just never works. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there are physiological changes that are taking place when you do hypnosis or when you do meditation that really allow you to access different regions of your brain and have a different consciousness experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the same as waking consciousness.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place. It's kind of like it's like the warm,
an altered state.
Yeah, it's like the warm bath area of your mind. It's just kind of like, oh yes, this is nice.
Yeah, it's like all the benefits, like all the good feelings of heroin, without the mind-numbing, effects or the bad effects, because
without
really
that pesky addiction.
Well, yeah, and so you can become a trance addict, I think, a trance junkie. But
Yeah.
you do, because you start to release those chemicals in your body, and that's really all that an emotion is. And I always think that's so interesting to consider, is that an emotion is just a chemical release in the body. And when you can start to control your thoughts, control, or maybe you should say, to drive your thoughts or to be the observer of your thoughts, then you can start to put yourself in a different physiological state. So hypnosis is great for chronic pain, or, even beyond the emotional or the spiritual aspect of it, preparing for surgery, any of those things. You can extremely accelerate healing. You can affect your physical being. You can, I've seen many people, shrink tumors and overcome breast cancer, through using just self-hypnosis. So, it really is incredible what we're able to do when we reconnect with the ability that we have within us.
Yeah, that's well, and the fact that, like after the first couple times it happens to you, you say, "Wow, that I really was somewhere else." And when you have a loving guide with you, like the part that you play, I remember one session when I was in Texas, and I was introduced to a spirit guide of mine. Is a big, tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed German dude named Wilhelm, who runs a tiki bar on the intergalactic highway. And behind the tiki bar are these catalogs. There's all these catalogs, and they're all neatly organized chronologically. And in those catalogs are every thought I've ever had. And so I could, I haven't gone up there yet because it's a lot like cleaning out the garage. But you can go, and he serves nice, friendly beverages there at the tiki hut, and I only have access to the thought catalogs, but I don't want people randomly thinking my thoughts. Just hey, let me have a summer of '77. What was he doing then? But that's but knowing that and having that, it's just a nice path that I can go to when when I'm contemplating big things. I can kind of go sit at the tiki bar at Wilhelm's and sort it out because all my thoughts are right there. So it's when you find out those little things about yourself and that are inside of you that that exist and help you think, it's such a blessing. And we think of ourselves as multidimensional, and then when something actually happens that proves it to you, it's a beautiful stride. It's nice, like, wow, that was cool, and that happened to me right here by myself. It's wonderful, So, but Beth, we're talking about being awake or asleep, and I just and I'm not putting anybody down, and I pray for their ascension, but there's just some people in the periphery of my life. I run into them when I'm somewhere else. But they're just absolutely programmed by the television. They don't go outside. They don't make contact with the earth. They only, they go to the grocery store. They buy, all this processed and prepared food, and they come back and they sit and their life, and they do jobs that they don't care for, that they only do for money, and I don't notice any artistic expression out of any of them. I could be wrong. Maybe maybe they are tortured artists caught in this habit trail. But I pray that they find their way out or their way in, whichever way they're looking. But the thing that I notice is the thing in common is that they're all so sad. They're sad. They spend too much time in front of that television.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we were like all dogs? It'd be like, I'm a golden retriever, and I really like to go out there and fetch stuff. And I can't believe that guy who's just sitting around in the living room, and all he does is get fed. Jesus Christ. What kind of dog is he?
Yeah, it's really true. And then my former father-in-law, Carol, rest his soul, he was a good guy. He had a little saying that I've always liked. How you doing, Carol? And he had a pretty positive attitude most of the time. He says, I'm just like a millionaire's bird dog, just waiting for the next adventure.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I like it too, yeah. And
Well, when you're talking about, like, going back and regressing to when you're like a kid and, be a child and all that kind of stuff, what it really boils down to is, when we're born, we're like happy and we're innocent and we're kind of just little babies and everything's cool.
Yeah.
And then we get to meet our parents.
That's the truth.
And after that, it's like, oh, God.
well, well,
That's right. That's right.
and I do have to say, all the parents, all the lies that my parents told me were in love. They told me because they loved me. And, I don't think they meant to hurt me, but they just didn't know better, and they really should not have been dispensing information.
Exactly.
Should have had a license for that.
Yeah. So, but I did learn a wonderful love language from my mom and my dad. So there's there's these pieces of us, and because you're very right. We come here perfect. We ascended from spirit somewhere. This incredible. I just picture just a mass of silver white light, and then it gets formed somehow, and then it gets sent down, and it grows within the mother. And I have some customers that have a pretty brand new baby. And I'm looking at this kid, and this kid's got these big eyes, and I'm like looking right at him, and he's communicating with me, and the mom goes, "Wow, he really locked eyes with you." And I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to relive my youth." I'm just sitting there staring at him.
Lou's like a cat sucking the youth out of him.
Yes.
No, what are you doing?
I got Natasha Kinski waiting in the truck, but. But yeah, so it's like you just see all that innocence, and it's so beautiful when you can take the time to note it, But a few years ago, I was sorting some stuff out, and I came up with this idea of what if if there was a man that lived in a tree near your house, okay? And he sat up there in the tree with binoculars sometimes, and he watched you come and go and do your thing and whatever it is. He doesn't know much else. It's all kind of, a silent film for him. But he can track you throughout the day and see you at your various stops and haunts.
He's a stalker.
Well, he is.
It's always guys that do this. It's never chicks.
Yeah, it's never the woman in the tree.
Chick who's watching you.
There's a chick in a tree over there.
Why couldn't it be just a bear or something?
They can't operate technical machinery. Ever seen a bear use a camera?
Their nails are too long. They get so distracted too, But anyway, so if you had a chance to talk to the man in the tree, and try to make sense of your comings and goings and where you're going and what you're doing and why, and do you come home the same way week after week, month after month, year after year? Is your path leading you to more light? Not to sound like a Masonic pledge, but that's where you need to go. Is you need to find more light and more peace and more balance and better energies and cleaner vibrations, and would the man in the tree notice that after watching you for an extended period of time?
I don't know, but I'd say you got a pretty boring life if you're up in that tree watching me, dude. Thank God.
Yeah, so
What
you
if you're
really,
gassy? I mean, I don't
They're
really
paying
want somebody
you.
watching me
he's
all
just
day.
he's just for the facts.
Oh.
He's just for the facts.
Oh,
So he's like a Keebler elf. Except he's a guy in a tree.
He's a guy. He's a, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, but you think about the man in the tree, and and a lot of times, even if he presented you with some very simple questions, you'd go, really don't know why. What why'd you stop there, Lou? Why were you there? what do you think was there? And you're like, I don't know.
It's like my answer would be, I was smoking pot. Okay, I don't remember it all.
Yeah.
I would know exactly every move because I am very purposeful. I don't
Are you?
wander much. Nah, I'm not into the wandering.
Yeah, what made me think of that is a couple of weeks ago, I had some time in between appointments, and I pulled into the Dunedin Cemetery and, smoked a little bowl. And, but I was thinking, why there, Lou? Why'd you go there?
It's peaceful and quiet.
It was peaceful and quiet.
And there's peacocks there.
And there were peacocks there.
Where else would you want to listen to the Grateful Dead?
And I had some nice music going. And I actually found out that a friend of mine, Betsy Patey, who I went to school with, has been dead for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Walked right by her tomb.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
it kind of makes you when you have that like third person omniscient point of view, and I think that's probably part of the magic of religions and churches, is they have wonderful creative ways of presenting the third person omniscient point of view and making you think that the God that loves us and cares for us and sacrificed everything for us is very petty on the things that you do throughout the day. And did you look at that new Jaguar with covetousness in your heart? Yeah.
No, but I now want a truck with a rocket. Santa, if you're listening.
I want a jet truck. I want a jet truck.
Yeah, Lou's going to the drag races.
Yeah, they're drag racing this weekend down in Bradenton.
They got
Oh, you are?
they got jet trucks there.
and they
Are
make
those the
this
ones with the
big
parachutes
fire.
on the back?
Yes. As they can only stop with a parachute. That's how fast
The
they are.
fans have parachutes where he's going.
They use
They need 'em.
Priuses for parachutes.
They can jump out of the stands when their parole officers show up.
So you've been to the drag strip. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and it's just one of my primal things. I like the whole engineering part of it, the noise, the smells,
Food.
Bad food. I mean, it's all great.
What's your connection with your dad?
It is a connection with my dad. You're exactly right.
Aw.
And I tried to get Isaac to go, but he can't get off work. So, But anyway,
I have a car question for you
sure,
today,
please.
since we're on the topic of cars.
Yes.
So we looked at a car today and we were going to buy it, but we noticed that it had it was a 2014 Mercedes E350. Beautiful car,
Okay.
great price,
Right.
but the previous owner had been a smoker.
Ooh.
So the dealership seemed to have done the best that they could, but we kind of took it out for the day to have it to see if we like it.
Right.
And the more we stayed in it, kind of the worse the smell got.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
so is it possible? They said, they're going to do all this disinfecting and stuff to it. But from, everyone else is like, no way, it never comes out. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think
Okay.
it's possible to get that stink out of the car?
If they they do have antiseptics and this foam that they fill the air conditioning vents, because that's what it is. It's the guy smoked with the AC on, and the AC recirculated in the car, and the air conditioning condenser, the thing that cools the air, it has a layer of nicotine on it. Now they do have something they can actually kind of flush the system and all the tubes and all that other stuff, and they'll get most of it. They'll be able to shampoo the rugs out, and yes, I know they can. Okay, but because the guy smoked with the AC on, there's going to be that remnant of that nicotine smell
Forever.
or at least a
Forever.
couple of years. You know.
Yeah. I bought a car from a smoker once, it was a Toyota Camry, and 6 years later, it still had this smell.
Really?
Yeah, we used everything to try and
Yeah.
pull that smell out, and
Yeah.
it was always there.
And and I'll also tell you that does affect the value of the car. It really does, because people like you don't like it. and the next guy next to you won't like it either. You know, I mean, only another smoker is going to like it or not be bothered by it.
Now I know why it was $2,000 less than the other one at Mercedes.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Now, Mercedes has a wonderful program with certified pre-owned. You know, latch onto that program. Be sure that it has the Mercedes certification on it. Because warranty is the key to owning a Mercedes. You don't want to take a Mercedes to the shop that's not under warranty. That the bill's in your name. You don't want that to happen. So, and apparently a 2014, it's CPO, right? Certified pre-owned.
This one was not because it was at a different dealership. So
yeah, well, you got to buy it from a Mercedes dealer.
Right.
But the
exactly.
restoration that they do is impeccable. They bring the car as close to new as you can imagine. They so pay the couple extra $1,000 for that because it's worth it. They do, they do Mercedes certified pre-owned, one of the best car programs going today. That's how you can own a Mercedes in a real life budget, you know. So, but that's what I would do if I was you. You gotta buy it right from Mercedes.
The stink remains, yeah.
Yeah, and the funk's gonna stay there in the car. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make it bearable, but it's never gonna go away completely. But well, anyway, folks, my goodness, we have gone through the whole show now. We're here. We're almost done. Beth, thank you so much for your insight and your wonderful being. Folks, you can catch Beth at BethSnyderHypnosis.com or theOhmShop.com. All wonderful, wonderful energies happening down there in Sarasota. Beth, it was lovely to have you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Good to talk to everybody.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Michael, nice show. Good show. Chris, you killed it, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Hey, if you want to come out and see some comedy, I'll be at McCurdy's all this week, Wednesday through Sunday, featuring for Mr. J.B. Ball.
All right. And I'm there next week.
We're coming.
Sweet.
I'm at McCurdy's next week.
Sweet. Who are you working with?
Mark
I'm
Klein.
at that too.
Mark Klein. There you go.
Hey, look at that. Everybody's happy.
Double dipping.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I'm Lou Angel Wolf signing off from Loutopia.com. Everybody's happy. Please go to Loutopia.com and read The Pacifist Riot. Then you'll get the little bit of leaven that we're trying to share with you, hoping to make a whole loaf. Have a great week. Enjoy, your leftovers. Well, the leftovers are probably getting pretty old by now, aren't they? That was last Thursday. So, everybody have a wonderful day. Try to wake up a little more. Be woken.